Hey guys, I'm Team Shield and welcome to a new video. So if you're a bit involved into CommandBlocks, you probably know that there is a really simple way to make a randomizer, which is like so. Let's say we want one chance out of two that something will happen. Then what we have to do is summon two armor stands, then give a tag to random one of them, and then give a second tag to random one of them. Then we have to test that there is an armor stand with the two tags at the same time, and if so, then something happens. And in this case, it works. So the problem here, there is a huge downside, which is that if you want lower percentages, let's say you want one chance out of 20, then there are lots of entities involved, and if you already have other entities in your world, then it can really lag, which you don't really want. So in this video I want to show you how you can optimize this and reduce the number of entities without increasing the complexity of the system. Let's begin. Okay, so in this video we're going to use an interesting property of probabilities, which is that you can get any probability by multiplying two higher probabilities. So let's say we want one chance out of 20, then we can multiply one chance out of 4 by one chance out of 5, and there we go. So how does this apply to Minecraft? Basically what we're gonna do is do two groups of armor stands. So let's say we want one chance out of 10. We know that one chance out of 10 is one chance out of 2 multiplied by one chance out of 5. So we're going to summon two armor stands, and then we're going to make a second group of armor stands by differentiating them with a tag, and we're going to summon 5 of them. Okay, so now what we do is, like before, we add a tag to random one of the first group and also to random one of the second group. Then we add a tag to random one in the first group and a tag to random one in the second group. So now we potentially have one armor stand in the first group with 2 tags and one armor stand in the second group with 2 tags. So what we can do is detect for an armor stand in the first group with the 2 tags, and if so, then we test for an armor stand in the second group with the 2 tags. Then if there is also an armor stand in the second group with the 2 tags, then something happens. So basically we multiplied one chance out of 2 by selecting an armor stand in the first group by one chance out of 5 by selecting an armor stand in the second group. But to what extent is this improved? Well, with the first method we would have used 10 armor stands, while with the second we only used 7. In fact, this isn't a really good example because we could only reduce the number of armor stands by 3. This is really more efficient when it comes to higher numbers, such as 1 out of 100. In this case, we can say 1 out of 100 equals 1 out of 10 multiplied by 1 out of 10. But we can simplify 1 out of 10 into 1 out of 2 multiplied by 1 out of 5, which means that we can say 1 out of 100 equals 1 out of 2 multiplied by 1 out of 5 multiplied by 1 out of 2 multiplied by 1 out of 5. And it is really more efficient because we only used 14 armor stands. Okay, so now that you got the idea, let's explore the concept further. This time, let's say we can add a single armor stand into several groups. So these are armor stands that are in the 2 groups. We can summon 2 of them, and now the first group, which needed 2 armor stands, is completed, and as for the second group, which needed 5 armor stands, well, we only have 3 more armor stands to add. And now it's really easy to detect for the right armor stand that fits the combination. What you have to do is add a tag to random one of any of these armor stands, then add a second tag to an armor stand of the first group, then add a third tag to an armor stand of the second group. And there we go. What we have to do is just detect for an armor stand that has the 3 tags at the same time. Okay, moving on to practical skills, this in front of me is basically the exact same reasoning that I did right before, except it is applied to the 1 out of 100 operation we did before. So basically, if I turn this on, each time this clock ticks, there is one chance out of 100 that it will say it works. And it only uses 5 armor stands divided into 4 groups. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned a thing or two. Anyways, please be sure to subscribe or hit the like button, that would really be appreciated, and see you guys!